Did you know gorillas are humans' third closest living relatives after chimpanzees and bonobos, sharing over 95% of our DNA? Belonging to the great apes family, being mostly ground-dwelling that inhabit equatorial Africa's forests, being divided in two species, at the east and the west. And please don't start making East Coast, West Coast jokes. I wasn't gonna. Yeah, sure you weren't. Anyways, did you know the word gorilla comes from the history of Hanno the Navigator in 500 BC from an exploring expedition to what now is Sierra Leone in West Africa? They are the largest of all living primates, reaching close to 6 feet in height and up to 600 pounds depending on species and sex, and living up to 40 years in the wild, although both species are classified as endangered with about 300,000 in the west and only 5,000 in the east, through poaching, habitat destruction, and disease as the main reasons. But not all is lost, with some conservation efforts being successful in some areas. A gorilla that's kept in a zoo can live up to 50 years, although Kolo, a female western gorilla, lived 60 years at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Did you know gorillas build nests made out of branches and leaves, using them for day and nighttime, but unlike chimpanzees and orangutans, they sleep in the ground. Which makes a lot of sense with little to no worries of being attacked, having that size, strength and weight. Although some remains have been found in leopard's cats, but it could be from scavenging. So I say that still makes them real OGs. Yes sir, it does. Did you know coffee is prepared from roasted coffee beans, which are then pounded into fine particles to then be filtered with hot water to make a cup of joe? The drink is dark and bitter with caffeine content that works as a stimulant. The first credible evidence of humans drinking a modern type of coffee comes from Yemen, dating back to the 15th century. I would have thought it was much older. Anyways, a century later, the drink spread out to the Middle East, North Africa, and later Europe. Did you know coffee berries are cultivated in more than 70 countries, being one of the most valuable commodities exported by developing countries, with C. arabica and C. robusta as the two most common types, with Brazil as the leading grower with over 30% of the world's total production. But not only roasted beans are high in demand, because green and roasted beans are the most traded commodities, only second to petroleum. But not all is easy for coffee berries, as more than 900 species of insects are pests to coffee crops, with beetles. No, not those beetles. I mean the creepy crawly ones. Yes, those. They represent a third of coffee bean pests, but that's not all, because birds and rodents also eat them. Now imagine a rat high on caffeine, not caring about anything, just being wired out of their minds. It sounds scary and nasty at the same time. Did you know Hawaii is the only state in the US that grows coffee? A little ironic if you ask me, because if there's one place I think about relax and chill, that place is Hawaii. But then again, I've never even been there. Something that wouldn't make me relax nor chill would be drinking kopi luwak, which is the most expensive coffee in the world. But why wouldn't I like to try it, you may ask? Well, because it comes from a cat's butt. Yep, you heard correctly, it comes from cat's poop. I wonder how that happened. Who was the first to go and say, "Man, that cat's poops looks yummy. Wonder how it tastes." Nah, not for me. Definitely not for me. Dragon Ball is a Japanese franchise from the 80s created by Akira Toriyama, having Goku as the main character. The series was inspired by a Chinese tale called Journey to the West, dating back to the 16th century. Goku belonged to an alien race called the Saiyajins, although this information was not mentioned until Dragon Ball Z later on. At first, the story revolves around the search for the Dragon Balls, which if you collected 7 of them, they would then summon a dragon who gave you a wish. Bulma was the first one to meet Goku and the one to tell him about the Dragon Balls, when she realized Goku had the one with 4 stars, her having 2 more. When they met at the mountains, he lived by himself because his grandpa had been killed by a monster that came out during full moons. Little did he know he was the one transforming into the monster, which was a giant ape with incredible strength. This happened when Saiyajins looked straight up at the full moon. Bulma then convinced him to go with her and look for the remaining Dragon Balls, without saying that her intentions was to wish for a new boyfriend. In their travels they encounter new characters in the way, such as Master Roshi, Krillin, and Yamcha. Oh, you did Yamcha wrong. Later in the story the focus changed and it was more about helping others by fighting bad people, monsters, aliens, and big and powerful organizations like the Red Ribbon Army. Saving many people and even the whole world, becoming a hero, although not a mainstream one. But that's for another video. And that's it for today, so if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it. So, see you in the next one. Bye bye!